Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Gemini for April 2015. Go to my website, aspiritualspark.com, or click on the link below this video to see more about my live personal coaching and more about my 28-day virtual coaching program, my new program called Shine, both of which are intended to help you synergize with the stars and make friends with the stars instead of feeling like they are working against you. And while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter and become part of my community. So what's going on in April? We have a very action-packed month. Again, the eclipse cycles are, the eclipse cycle is upon us, and we have been talking about these for months, but the most active time is getting cooking in March, is really brewing in April as well. So by now you might have some inkling as to the stories that the eclipses are going to tell you. We're going to talk about the eclipses at length. We start out right at the beginning of the month with this total lunar eclipse at 14 degrees of Libra. And this eclipse is happening opposite, it's opposing Uranus. So this is an added intensity. So we'll start with the first layer. We have the eclipse. Lunar eclipses happen on full moons, and we know that there's fullness or completions or closing of chapters or endings that happen on full moons. These are mini cycles that we experience every month. So when there's an eclipse on a full moon, that full moon carries the power of 3 full moons. So the excitement, the changes, the anticipation, the drama, the emotions, positive or negative, are multiplied by 3. And that is the energy that's brewing at the beginning of the month. That whole first week of the month is very much covered in that energy. And you might have started to get news about this eclipse at the end of February. Lunar eclipses eclipse something out. It removes something from your life. It closes things. Astrologers say that eclipses, news that comes from eclipses is usually non-negotiable. There's nothing really that can be done about it. It happens. Often it's a surprise, and with Uranus involved, especially at a challenging angle, there are going to be a lot of surprises that can seem challenging. But, of course, as always, you know that I believe that even the most challenging aspects, especially the most challenging aspects, are intended to help us shake loose of the stodginess and dysfunction that is within our wiring so that we can live more happy and creative and wonderful experiences. So when we have a lineup like this, rather than fearing it, just know that there's going to be some challenge, very likely. Know that there may be some drama. Know that there's going to be some difficulties, and that it is very likely that you're going to overcome them and see the wisdom of what has happened, or come to peace with what has happened, or whatever the story is for you. So the eclipse is removing something for most of you in the 5th house. So when we have an eclipse cycle like this, which is highlighting the 5th and 11th house, for some of you, especially later degree Geminis or late birthday Geminis, this could be happening more towards the 4th house and the 10th house, which I'll talk about what the implications are of that. And for you middle ground Geminis, it could be in either way. So this particular eclipse cycle, which is a Pisces Virgo eclipse cycle, is started this spring, and its energy will run through the fall of 2017. The Pisces Virgo eclipses will run through spring-ish of, late winter, spring of 2017. But since they have 6 months that they act after sometimes, this energy, this story, this bigger picture is 2015, 2016, 2017. Okay, so now within that, there's mini cycles of 6 months. So something new is starting here, something new that's a couple of year cycle. And the theme for many of you is going to be the closing out of personal dramas, the closing out, some ending of chapters of focus on personal drama, and an opening up. The solar eclipse is up there, the 11th house, opening up in the area of the greater good, working in groups, something having to do with your place in the community. I remember a very long time ago, in my 20s, I was very much entrenched in personal dramas, in personal relationships, and it seemed to be a major theme of my life, and I give a lot of energy away to that. And I remember having this lucid moment of clarity, telling a good friend of mine, I can see a time where this thing that's going on with our boyfriends at the time, it was very challenging, these kind of petty things that are monopolizing our time, those things are going to fall into the backdrop, and the bigger picture our place in the world, how we're helping people, how we're helping our communities in all of these different ways are going to be the highlight. And we won't be choosing to give power away to these places anymore. And that right there is the theme for many. This is going to be the theme for many, even most Geminis. For this next 6 months, for this next couple of years, you'll be able to have a strong opportunity to close out these personal dramas and places where you're just whittling your power away into romance, drama, things that are just not serving you. And you'll be able to clue into your place in this bigger picture with some kind of community, some kind of group, some kind of project, some kind of something bigger than yourself. The fifth house tends to rule your pleasures, your hobbies, fun games, hobbies, things like that. And when energy closes out of there, this is also the house of children. When energy closes out of there and opens up in the house of groups and the bigger picture, then you can see the story. It's like it's tabling some of those things that were just about you and stepping more into this bigger picture. So for the rest of you Geminis, you may experience some of this closing out in home and family, and this opening up in career and work and life purpose, your public life. So perhaps the same thing, the theme of having some dramas at home, or some dramas in your home space, or some dramas left over from childhood. The theme for the next couple of years is that you can close these dramas out and see what your place is in the world. What are you supposed to be doing? What are you here to shine? And what are you here to bring? So this eclipse cycle is talking about all of this. Now within that, there's this mini story of the energy of codependency and enabling people, and where you're, again, giving your energy away to other people in dysfunctional relationships. And the more you can go back and even if it's something small, wow, I'm doing that and I'm giving my energy to this, I can take that and have it swirl around me and get bigger and bigger and do something really awesome with this. So we've got the lunar eclipse happening with this Uranus component, which always brings even more surprises than eclipses usually bring. Eclipses tend to bring surprises as it is, and Uranus in this opposing angle may bring more surprises. And there's Pluto there making this 90-degree angle. So again, challenging angles. So that's the beginning of the month, and those are the themes as we've talked about for the upcoming time. So after the beginning of the month, we move into April 8th, and April 8th we have Jupiter going direct. Jupiter has been in the sign of Leo, and for most of you, this has been accentuating your third house, your house of communication, your house of transportation, your house of writing projects, your mobility, the way that you communicate through devices, your cars, your bikes, things like that, your even relatives. A lot of your relatives will be in here, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, uncles. So some energy is being expanded. Since last summer, Jupiter started expanding this third house. For most of you, all but late Gemini placements, you still have Jupiter expanding your second house of finances. You still have some more time with it blessing that area of your life. So then in December, so in the summer, Jupiter went into Leo, started accentuating this space. Then in December, the beginning of December, it went retrograde. So you might have had forward movement in something involving travel or transportation or communication or a writing project. And then when it went retrograde, then it's like it loses steam, it loses focus, and you wonder what the heck is happening. Well, what the heck is happening probably is that Jupiter went retrograde. And now Jupiter is going to go direct. So your writing projects, all of these other missions that you were on, it's time to move forward. If you have been wanting to buy a new car, this is a fantastic time to buy a new car, bike, transportation, some way to make you more mobile, bus passes, anything that makes you be able to move more. It also might mark a time of you having more traveling that could go on as well. So, and also if there was things going on with relatives and they seem to kind of quiet down, they might start rushing forward as Jupiter starts to regain steam. For those of you later degree Geminis or later birthday Geminis, you still have Jupiter expanding your second house. So if it seemed like money and finances were flowing more, and then once it got to be around December, it started seeming to go backwards, it's probably from this Jupiter transit. So once April comes, those things, those projects, that focus will start moving forward again. So let's see what else we've got. April 16th, we have Pluto going retrograde. Now, Pluto is one of the best planets to be in retrograde because it's so much like itself. Retrograde is this going backwards and inwards energy, and Pluto is the master of inwards and going back into things. So it thrives very much in retrograde. So this is a fantastic time from April 16th through September 25th to really do deep internal cleaning, spring cleaning, getting your scrub brushes, getting your little woolly mitts, getting whatever things that, your versions, of course not literally, your versions of what would go inside of those cleaning things, detoxes, saunas, herbs, any kind of whatever it is that detoxes you, cleans your inside physiologically, that cleans your insides emotionally, mentally. This is a fantastic time for that. So April 18th, we have the kickoff of the astrological new year. Officially, the astrological new year started at the end of March when the sun moved into Aries, but it's like, this is the kickoff party. This is like the big New Year's party when the new moon in Aries happens. So this is one of the 2 best days in the entire year for doing your vision boards. If you're a vision board person, or if you're not, maybe you'll become one. Putting things on a vision board where you are seeking out things that you love, that you want to create, and put them on a board for creation. This is one of the 2 best days in the whole year, April 18th, for doing that. The end of the month is definitely more light and more sweet. I call the theme of this month bubbles and breakthroughs because it's just like that. We have the effervescence that we had, that was the theme of March, this bubbling up of all this Aries energy. That Aries energy is continuing. So even though Venus and Mars have moved on into Taurus, we still have the Sun and Mercury in this very effervescent Aries. So we've got things bubbling up. We've got Jupiter moving forward. So at the end of the month, Mercury and Mars make this conjunction. They both are trining Pluto. Now, this is a favorable angle to Pluto. We talked about some angles in the beginning of the month that have a challenging angle to Pluto, a challenging angle to Uranus. That energy is more, and you'll feel it. It just feels like that. It's awkward. It's super awkward and super stressful. But these angles are just smooth and sweet. And so the 21st, 22nd is an amazing couple of days for strategizing. If you have to consult with someone about a book that you're writing, if you have to consult with someone about buying a car, this is a fantastic time to consult with an expert in whatever you're focusing on. If you're focusing on your money, consult with a financial advisor, or how you want to invest your money, or how you can expand your money. This is just a meeting of the minds strategy powerhouse of a period, these couple of days. Also on the 22nd, we have Venus, which can rule love and beauty and money and aesthetics and harmony. We have that in a nice angle to Jupiter, the great expander. So it can expand, bring expansion of love, beauty, money, harmony, sweetness of any kind. And then on the 26th, Venus makes this same sweet aspect to Uranus. And Uranus is this planet of surprises that brings things out of the blue. So these would be more of like a happy surprise. So at the end of the month, there's just all of this bubbly sweetness. And hopefully you will find it a great relief from the heaviness of the beginning of the month. As you're in the heaviness, it's just so important to remember, this too shall pass, Sometimes the stories that we tell ourselves and the drama that we let ourselves get wrapped up into about the things that are happening are worse than what's actually happening. So that is one of the lessons. Another lesson for this eclipse cycle is really to evaluate anything having to do with pleasures that are taken too far. Because the 5th house, I've definitely seen the 5th house, because it's the house of pleasures. You can have gambling, substance abuse, some other things in there. So if you have been battling with these things, this eclipse cycle could assist you, could really greatly assist you in getting that out of your life and aligning yourself with a group of people. And so you might find some camaraderie with other people that are in your same situation. You might find some assistance in helping others with things you've learned as you're helping yourself. Again, this theme of closing out of whatever kind of, it's like getting over yourself in a deeper way. And I'm not saying anything personal about you. Maybe this isn't your particular issue, but this is the theme, and we each have ways that we're battling with our own egos. There are very few people in the world that aren't doing this wrestling match between faith and fear, in our brains constantly with the ego and the mind versus the heart. So this is a time where you have a really strong chance of winning that battle. And that's where peace is. Peace comes when you live more in faith than you do in fear. So I can't see what's going on in your individual chart. I'd like very much to, if you would like me to assist you with an astrological reading coaching session, I would love to help you. I have my readings available on a sliding scale. You can go to my website, aspiritualspark.com. Also, my new virtual 28-day coaching program called Shine is on a sliding scale, and the lower end of the sliding scale is very accessible to pretty much anybody. And I highly recommend it to bring more positivity and to bring energy clearing and bring direction and bring focus and bring ways to get really healthy and focused on getting out of your dramas and improving your life and improving your relationships and being more happy. So while you're there, sign up for my free email newsletter, and I hope you have a wonderful April. I'll see you next month. Bye.